Last year, right around the same time, just a few days before the new league year start, where the legal tampering period begins, I put out a video saying the Packers need to go out and sign a free agent. That free agent was Xavier McKinney, and that's exactly what they did. Now, last offseason, safety was a glaring need for the Green Bay Packers, and Xavier McKinney was by far the best safety available, and I'm glad the Packers went out and did that. So today, I'm going to talk about a free agent that the Packers need to go out and sign this coming Monday when legal tampering period begins. Of course, the new league year start is next Wednesday, March 12th. That's when free agency officially starts. But legal tampering period is when teams can start to talk to free agents and start to work out the deals. Usually you'll see all the deals posted on Monday, but they won't be official until Wednesday. And right now, the Packers don't have a massive glaring need like they did at safety last season, but there still are some needs. On defense, I think the Packers need to acquire through free agency or the draft players at the cornerback position, defensive line, and edge. And today, we're talking about a potential edge rusher that I think the Packers should go out and sign this Monday. And that is someone who, up to this point, kind of has flown under the radar, but is getting a lot of buzz this last week and could be a top target for the Green Bay Packers this coming Monday, and that is Colts edge rusher Dayo Odeyingbo. Quickly, before we dive into why I think this is a good fit for the Green Bay Packers and why I think they should go sign Dayo Odeyingbo come this Monday, I want to let you guys know this video is being brought to you by BetUS. Use code YouTube150 when signing up for a 150% deposit match on your first deposit. Code YouTube150 will also get you a 125% match on deposits 2 and 3. That's all up to $2,000. Over on the BetUS website, they actually just started to release the Davante Adams lines for his next team, as he was just released by the Jets this week. And interestingly enough, the Packers lead these odds. Now, it makes sense. The fit is there. The potential is there. I didn't think they'd lead these odds, though. It seems like he wants to follow Aaron Rodgers, maybe stay on the West Coast. So the Packers leading this and at a pretty high odds at plus 200 is definitely interesting to me. You can see Los Angeles Chargers at 2, 49ers at 3, Rams at 4. I'm going to place a small bet on this. I'd be happy for a reunion of Davante Adams. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you want to go take a look at these lines, go over to BetUS. Remember to gamble responsibly and use code YouTube150 when signing up. All right, so now back into the video. Dayo Odeyingbo, edge rusher from the Colts. Very likely leaving the Colts as they're not going to pay a lot of money for an edge rusher as they just drafted Liatu Latu last season. They already have Kwity Paye. They have Samson Ebukam. At this point, Dayo Odeyingbo is going to outprice what the Colts are willing to pay, and they have a lot more talent in terms of edge rusher, and he's expendable. But that doesn't mean Dayo Odeyingbo isn't a solid player and a potential addition for this Packers defense. Taking a quick look at some statistics for Dayo Odeyingbo this last season, he finished the season with a 66.1 overall grade, and looking at the actual stats, he finished with 18 solo tackles, 19 stops, 4 sacks, and 42 total pressures. That's in 746 total snaps, so was a starter for this Colts defense. Odeyingbo, a former second-round pick out of Vanderbilt in the 2021 draft, showed a ton of potential through his rookie contract and now is looking to cash in on another team. NFL Advanced Stats actually has Odeyingbo with even more pressures than PFF. They have him marked down at 50 quarterback pressures, which led the entire Colts defense. We see Kwity Paye with 45 pressures, Liatu Latu with 42, and if we sort it by quarterback percentage rate, Odeyingbo's there at 12.1%, second on his team, only 0.3% less than Kwity Paye. So although he only is listed as 3 sacks, we can see he actually had more pressures and a very similar quarterback pressure rate to Kwity Paye, who had 8 sacks and less pressures. Odeyingbo also very solid against the run. He has extreme length and size. Run defensive snaps, he played 300 snaps. He had 31 tackles, 27 stops. Coming out of the draft, some of Odeyingbo's trade was that he had a big pass rush move repertoire, something that we've been kind of struggling with in terms of Lucas Van Ness. Odeyingbo has a lot of counter moves in terms of rushing the quarterback, and he has crazy height, weight to length ratio for an edge rusher. Coming out of the draft, Odeyingbo is listed at 6'5", 276 pounds with 35.25-inch arms. Now, when you're taking a look at edge rusher this offseason and you take a look at some of the free agents available, I even made a video on free agents, edge rushers available last month, and Odeyingbo went under the radar. Usually we're looking at names like Khalil Mack, Josh Sweat, Chase Young. But now that I'm more so looking at it and looking at what the Packers usually go after and what makes sense, Odeyingbo just seems very, very likely and would be a great addition to this defense. One of the main reasons I think this, if you take a look at Brian Gutekunst's history in terms of big name free agents he's signed as general manager of the Green Bay Packers, he signed Adrian Amos at 25 years old. Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith were both 26 when signed. Xavier McKinney last year, 25 years old when signed. Josh Jacobs, 26 years old when signed. If you add those all up and divide by all of them, that gives you a 25.6 average age for a big name free agent signing that Gutekunst makes. Dayo Odeyingbo is quite literally exactly 25 and a half years old right now, just coming out of his rookie deal. This is typically the exact target in terms of age, production, type of player that Gutekunst loves. Also, according to sources with knowledge of the situation, when the 2025 free agency period opens at 12 p.m. on Monday, March 10th, Indianapolis Colts defensive end Dayo Odeyingbo is expected to be one of the Packers' top targets in free agency. Now, one thing that we do have to monitor is what it would cost to bring in Dayo Odeyingbo to the Green Bay Packers. And right now it is estimated that he has a pretty high calculated market value at $16 million average annual salary. That would put him at 19th highest in terms of average annual salary of all edges in the NFL. And you might be thinking, that's a lot of money, but you're investing in the potential of a player that already showcased he can be a starting edge at the NFL level. He led the Colts in pressures last season. The Packers need to bring in someone that can start opposite Rashawn Gary. And the Packers have a lot of money to work with this offseason. After re-signing Brandon McManus, Isaiah McDuffie, the Packers are scheduled to have around $43 million in cap space. And with the league cap space going up and up by exponential amounts every single season, signing a 25-year-old edge rusher to, say, a 4-year deal at $16 million average in 2 years, that will look like a bargain, so long the player projects out to where you expect him to. And I know that's a big if, but one thing's clear. Brian Gutekunst has done an excellent job at signing these type of players in free agency, these players off their first rookie contract, 25, 26 years old. And his track record of these players and what he invests in results in great dividends for this team. So from face value, it might look like a lot of money, but when you take a look at some of the other players that signed similar contracts around the league, Zach Allen signed a $15 million contract at 25 years old. Carl Granderson signed a $13 million contract at 26 years old. Draymond Jones signed a $17 million contract at 26 years old. And Jones was just released yesterday by the Seattle Seahawks just 2 years into that deal. And that's more money than someone like Dayo Odeyingbo would cost in 2025, where obviously contracts, have extrapolated from that point. So like I said, last year I put out a video and it was more clear and cut what the Packers needed, and it was a very obvious target. It was a Xavier McKinney. It was at safety, the biggest position of need for the Green Bay Packers. It made sense, and luckily the Packers went and pulled the trigger. But I also wanted to do this video again to put a prediction out there, what the Packers are going to do come Monday, what's going to be their big name free agent signing. And this might not seem as a big name free agent signing, and I'm sure some people actually have never heard of Dayo Odeyingbo, and he did fly under the radar up until this point. But I do think it would be a very solid addition for this Packers defense, to where then they can go into the draft, they can target cornerback, they can target defensive line, maybe add another pass rusher also into that room through the draft, and really just round out this Jeff Hafley defense that showed great improvement in 2024 from Joe Barry. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, what you think of this potential signing. Are you on board with it, or are you not? I do appreciate you guys coming by to the video. If you could, leave a like down below. Also, go click subscribe if you happen to be a new viewer to stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers. There'll be a ton of content next week, of course, with free agency starting. Anything that happens with the Packers, you'll find it here the quickest on this channel, so go down and click subscribe. Also, a reminder to check out BetUS and use code YouTube150 when signing up. Appreciate you guys coming by. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, go Pack Go.